bit of a different style video for me. What I've done is filmed a project vlog, so in a series of pieces, which is going to document or kind of walk you through the making of the Stalk and Pip Beret and the Simple Things scarflette. So there's a quick view of what we're heading into. And I'm filming this future Cher for you and to just give you a little bit of a background. So probably a couple years now, I did some dyeing of yarn and knitted the Slice of Sunshine shawl that I will show here, and as a gift. And I was doing making the same the beret actually for the same gift recipient, and wanted to sort of match the darker part of that yarn. Now that was fingering weight yarn, and you can see a variety of colors in that. This I kind of was going for a little darker, you know, be able to wear with a winter black coat sort of style. They had admired the beret that I did earlier this year, and so that's sort of how this started. So what I did was I had used a number of Kool-Aid dyes to do that that first project, and what I wanted to do is to take the really more the black, it was cherry and black cherry were the primary, the dark, and so you'll see that through the video. The first batch I used some grape in there as well, and you'll see it as it goes through the vlog that is a little bit dark, and then I over dyed it with some cherry to kind of like brighten it up a little bit, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. So I will apologize in advance the continuity with the entire vlog, because I have learned since that doing this requires quite a bit more keeping track of where I cut and what I'm doing next. So the storyline might be a little choppier than I had originally planned, but hopefully gives you a good glimpse of kind of how I went through the project, and sort of just take you along the way with me. So I hope you enjoy it. I would love to invite you to take a look at the pattern. It is a really enjoyable knit. You'll hear that throughout the vlog, and I think Ailbíona McLochlainn's got several really nice patterns, so do check her out, as well as Melina Brell's Simple Thing scarflette. So thank you so much for watching. All right, so here we just have some bare yarn, and I'm going to get ready to pre-soak it. And what I'm planning to do is a little dye pot dye pan in the oven with some Kool-Aid black cherry dye to match some yarn that I previously dyed. Put a little clip of that in here, and it is destined for a Pip and Stalk Beret, which is a pattern by Alicia McLochlainn that I recently finished in a different yarn. So I'm gonna let this soak while I go out and do a little bit of garden cleanup, and then we'll be back. All right, so here we have the pre-soaked yarn, and in the dye pan, I've got 8 cups of lukewarm water. I want a pretty homogeneous color, so I'm going to stir in 2 packets of the black cherry, which is red 40 and blue #1. That has the citric acid already in it, so kind of all easy one step. Got the oven preheating to 250. Once I get the yarn in, I'm going to turn it to 225, cover this with foil, and leave it for an hour. So let's get the dye mixed up. that in the oven. Leave that for about an hour covered with foil. And we'll be back. Okay, this is 1 hour, so I had it the oven at 250. I put it in, turned it to 225, and it's almost clear, but I don't know if the camera will pick up. I think there's just the slightest hint of blue, so I'm going to give it maybe another 20 minutes, and then turn it off and leave it in there for an hour to finish up. All right, here we are after 2 hours, and I don't know if I recorded. I actually ended up putting in a pack, or really almost 2 packs of grape. I don't love the color, so I'm going to. The water is definitely clear now. I'm going to put. I've got 1 pack of cherry red that I'm going to just pop in there and let it go another maybe 40 minutes. And that's not focusing. Another 40 minutes, and just see if I can brighten the color up a little bit. Okay, so here's the red. Just pop these back in. I don't know. It'll either make it even muddier than it is, and I'll just have to over dye it something dark, or it'll improve it. We shall see. All right, so I'm gonna cover it back up and put it in for about another, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. Just gonna add a little, oops, a little soap to the wash. And there we are. You can smell the grape Kool-Aid. That water's all clear coming off of there. I just think as much better. I'm not really getting any color bleeding in there, so just gonna wash it to there's no sugar in that Kool-Aid. It's really just getting the fragrance and anything that was in the dye and the yarn. All right, wash it up and get it in the spin dryer and get it dried up, see what we got. Good evening, all. Wanted to pop in and give you an update on the Stalk and Pip Beret project. So I did get that yarn where I thought I was quite happy with the color. I apologize for the lighting, and I'm on a business trip, so just do a little late night filming here. This looks very brick red. It is not. It definitely has quite a bit of variegation of kind of like the purples and reds in there. So it's a browny purpley red. I don't know. But it's coming in good. Maybe I'll pop the still in, and that'll be a little bit better look. But had early flight today, and it was a weekend, so I went ahead and cast on. You cast on at the end of the stock here, and then work down your I-cord, do a series of decreases. I mean, hopefully light, I think you can see that. It's just so pretty, and I do apologize for the camera angle. I just wanted to kind of capture this a little bit as I went forward, but I think it's just really a pretty pattern. I have worn mine almost every day. We've had quite a bit of cooler, cold weather for North Carolina. So I have worn mine quite a lot, and I've enjoyed it. I've worn it, pulled down mostly, not really stylish beret, but it's been nice and warm. I mean, this is just a couple hours today, and so I'll be interested to see how much I get done between the 2 flights. It might give me a better idea of really how much knitting time it is. So my sense is it's, and the other one I thought knit up pretty quickly as well. Of course, I was learning the pattern, but I've had a number of people ask me for that they would love to have one. So I'm kind of thinking maybe it's my 2025 both travel knit and or gift knit. It's interesting. Alicia Plums, hope I'm getting that correctly. Might be Alicia Plummer. Had just posted, she had this real cute pair of mitts, and she was asking, you know, do you worry about your next project? And I thought, no, not really, but I really worry about my travel knitting. And so I thought that would be really nice to pair, to have 2 things like that you could just, you know, have where, I mean, this one, I had the ball, this, you know, the yarn wound up. I actually, I didn't have a lot of space in my luggage. I did a carry-on. I had this quite little knitting bag. The yarn barely fits in it, and it just does take 2 sets of needles. So I have my other tips on a safety pin, and I have my little stitch markers on there. So like that's my whole like little knits. But it was just what I needed for this trip, and I get home, just do the finishing, you know, probably a little bit more work on it, and I think it'll be nice. So I've got quite a lot of travel coming up. So I thought between those 2, I'd maybe switching back and forth between the pair of mitts and the beret, and maybe do it like a little gift set. I think that would be really nice. I will link the mitt pattern below too, and then I'll show that when I get knitting on it as well. So I was, it's nice to knit on, I'm knitting this on a US size 6, which I think is a 4mm needle. So it's nice to work on that. I've been working on a US 4, which is, I'm going to get these wrong, 3.75 maybe, on the Traveler hoodie, which I started on the hood about, might have been last weekend. It is so much knitting. And I'm like maybe a third of the way through. So it's kind of nice to have a little break project in there to do some of that with as well. So yeah, just wanted to give you a little update, and I'll keep you posted on the progress, and hopefully at the end of the video you'll see the final product. Oh, really quick, what I'm wearing, let's see if I can change this awkward camera angle. I am wearing my Antler pullover. You might remember this from the video. This is a very bad angle. I think I look very out of shape. But anyway, I was not in love with this. I mean, I was in love with the knit. I love the fabric. This is Chestari traditional. Love the yarn. It's worn super nicely. I love the pattern. This is by Tin Can Knits, so it has this really nice antler cables. But I wasn't happy with the fit. It's quite baggy and loose in the back, and it's too big for me. But I will say I have worn this sweater almost nonstop since right before Christmas. I took it down to wear I'm actually, truth be told, sitting here in my pajamas. But it's just kind of like a nice warm layer over. I wore it over leggings on the plane. My son, they keep their house quite cool, so I had it to wear there. But I've been enjoying it more like it's tunic like. You know, it's got a little bit of, it's a really bad angle again, but anyway, I've been liking it. So not the perfect thing to wear out when I want to dress, but for comfort and cozy, it is really good. I think if I knit it again, I would size down the pattern considerably, and that's really part of the problem. But I think it's kind of nice to have some of those cozy knits as well. So anyway, just thought I'd share that while I was in here. And anyway, I hope you have a good evening, and we'll catch up again in a few. Good afternoon all. I just wanted to pop in and give you a little status update on my Stalk and Pip Beret. Trying to record the progress of this one. So I have done all my increases, I've done my decreases, and I'm starting into the brim. And I am trying something new with this one. I am using a technique by that Nelkin has a great YouTube video on called Lola's 2-time technique. And as I am knitting this last round, I am incorporating the stitch saver into my stitches so that when I go back, so what I'll now do is make a casing for the brim, and then that should allow me to super quickly pick up those stitches to do the bind off. So I'm super excited about that. I think it's looking really good. This is we should be ready to get this off the needles really shortly, but just want to come in and give you a little update on that. And I think I will try to flip the camera around and show you that that technique, but do go over and look at Laura Nelkin's video. I mean, this is not a tutorial. I'll just show you hopefully show you what I'm doing, but her tutorials are very, very good. And actually that video, and it is entitled Lola's 2-time technique, will actually give you a couple of different ways that you can use that technique. Okay, so what I'm doing as I am knitting, I am wrapping, see if I remember the right way I'm doing this. I'm wrapping the yarn, my working yarn, under the stitch saver and then over the stitch saver, and then making my knit stitch. That is looking really, really sloppy, obviously. If you're not trying to do it around the camera, it will snug up there tightly. So again, you can kind of see what that is doing there and getting that extra line right in. So I'll be curious to see how that looks, and I'll show you when we get the finished detail. Good morning. So I have the finished unblocked hat here, and love the crown. You can see it's going to follow my face, sorry. Let's try to get the good lighting here. I did the picot edge option, and I think it has a really nice detail in the finish here. And I've gone with the pip rather than the stalk, so I'm going to pop it into a bath and get it blocked. I'll use a large dinner plate to stretch it out. So this is the medium. It feels a little smaller than my other one, but unblocked, so we'll see. So that's kind of, I guess you can do it a couple different ways here. But with the picot edge, I think you'd want it popped out, but I guess you can do it with a turned up edge, kind of more beret style, or pop it down, kind of more close style. So anyway, we'll get it blocked and we'll see what it looks like afterwards. I also have decided that I am going to, I've got 43 grams of the yarn. This weighs 63 grams. And so I've got, a little less than half skein. I have started to look up the Sophie scarf, but I remember Nancy from Knit Sip Happy has done a number of the Simple Thing scarf by Melina Brell, which is a free pattern. I also saw that Melina has a link on the pattern page to a tutorial for the I-cord cast on, just to kind of get you started. So I think that's really nice. I looked at that. And so I'm going to do that. And what I'm hoping just is have, I'll, obviously increase till about halfway, but it should be, I want to try to get a narrow, skinnier scarf, just have a little bit of an accent piece. I think it would be cute to go with it, and it'll use up the rest of the yarn. So that seems like a good option. So more to come, and we'll see the final reveal shortly. All right, so we're back, and I have finished and blocked the Stalk and Pip Beret. So it blocks out really nicely. I was a little afraid when I finished it that it was a little too small, but blocked it on a large dinner plate, let it dry. I do use a spin dryer, so that helps get it dry pretty quickly. Very happy with the picot edge there. And then again, I just really love the detail on the increases and decreases. I think it just looks so nice. So really pleased with that. And then I think, as I mentioned in the last clip, I've cast on for the simple thing, a little scarflette, I guess it is. So I'm hoping with the 43 grams I have left over, what I've done is instead of following exactly the increases in the pattern, I'm increasing at a much slower rate. I think in the pattern, it's a free pattern. Pattern, it's every 8 rows, and I'm going every 12 rows just to kind of make it longer and skinnier, I'm hoping. So we'll see how that works up. I had something that I did off, and I need to take it out. I've taken out a couple rows, and I can't quite get the, there's something I'm not doing when I'm taking it out. So I got to do rip back a couple more. I just had an odd little place where the stitch shifted. I want to take care of that. But anyway, this is going quick. It's gonna be my travel knit this week, and hopefully we'll have a nice little pair. So more to come, and we'll check back in as we get a little further. All right, so we are done. Here's the final. I think I showed this during the clip. It's the problem with recording these as we go, but here's your Stalk and Pip Beret. And here is the simple thing scarflette. So this one's sort of short. As I said, I had like 43 yards. I think I ended up using, I had a few, I mean, not 43 yards, 43 grams. And I think I ended up with maybe 5 or 6 left over. But so it won't go double, but definitely will give a little bit of a single tie here. So here's another version, and we'll get this off to its recipient. So it was a fun project, I think. Love, love, love the beret. And this is quite a simple, I'm not a huge fan of garter stitch. So I think I will look at doing that in the future. I just think it's a nice accompaniment with the beret. Might look at doing mitts or something else, but just trying to think about where you have a little less than 50 grams, what would be a good accompaniment to go with the hat. Would love to hear if you have favorite patterns in either of those categories. Maybe put that below and we can share that together. So here we are at the end of the vlog. Thank you so much for sticking around if you hung through the whole thing. And let me know in the comments if you enjoy this style of video. If you are, if it is something that you were able to maybe do a little knitting or dyeing or spinning or weaving or crochet, whatever your hobby of choice was, or just maybe sat down and took a break and watched for a bit and had a cup of coffee or a beverage, I would appreciate knowing that, and I will work on doing some more if the feedback is good. But I definitely appreciate you spending some time with me, and I wish you happy knitting, spinning, dyeing, and weaving. Bye, y'all.